Hi everyone, welcome back to the weekly reading. This is going to be for December 30th, 2019, all the way through to 2020 to the 5th of January. So if you're watching this in 2020, Happy New Year, and I hope you have a good 2020. This week I've got some crystals for you to choose from before. This is for after actually I talk about the astrology, so I'll just show you what I have, so see what crystal you're drawn to here. So I have a beautiful rose quartz heart. I have a gorgeous Amethyst Point tower, a Selenite wand, and a beautiful Lepidolite palm stone. So you can go by the crystals, or you can go by the number 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'd say see what crystal you're drawn to, because I feel like that's more likely to give you more accurate messages. So something a little bit different happened. I'll just let you know, this week as I was preparing the reading and getting the cards ready, I started getting a clairaudient messages, and I thought, oh, that's weird. That doesn't usually happen to me when I'm preparing. So for each crystal, I actually have a little just clairaudient message that came through. Just like a little phrase that just came through for each one. So it happened with the rose quartz, and I thought, okay, well, will it happen with the others? And it did. It happened for each one. So mini channeled message, 2 cards for you, 1 card from the the Crystal Angels Oracle, and the other one from one of my favorite decks, the Zodiac reading cards. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the astrology though. So for this week, it's an intense time for everybody. If you're not feeling stress in some area of your life, well, you're probably in about 10% of people or 5% of people if you're not. And lucky you if you're not, because there's a lot of stress around with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is building up. I mentioned it last week. It's building up this week, and it's exact next week. Now, the energies are building up this week because next week we've got an eclipse in Cancer and a lot of planets in Capricorn, as well as the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Now, that's next week, but you're just going to feel that build up this week and that intensity, which we've already been feeling anyway. So everybody's feeling stress in different ways, depending if you know your astrology chart where the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is transiting for you in terms of what house and if it's aspecting anything. That's for people that know astrology. If you haven't already checked, definitely look at your chart and see what's going on. Quick message about my online store. It's still currently closed, and I am, as of today, back into readings pretty much full swing. So I'm going to be really flat out trying to catch up on those orders that came through just before Christmas, and that's what I'm working hard on today and the next few days until even to the next week. But my shop will actually reopen. I posted on Instagram. If you haven't already started following me on Instagram, you can find me under Susan Starlight or Susan Rodeo, Psychic Medium and Astrologer. I think I've got myself there as. So you'll find me there where I post regularly, as well as my Facebook business page. But I tend to post also more personal things on Instagram as well. But on Instagram I did mention, actually on the Facebook business page as well, I've mentioned that my shop is reopening 31st of December, so in a couple of days. So if you've been waiting for a reading, you'd like to book, you can actually go to my Etsy store now. I'll put the link below this video, like I always do, and just click on the email button. It's all self-explanatory on there. So if you want to be notified by email that I'm returning on the 31st, just as a reminder, you'll get an email from Etsy to say when I reopen my store. Please keep in mind that most readings, there is a turnaround time of minimum 7 to 14 business days. Okay, because I'm very busy and I'm booked up, and I not only do online readings, I also do in-person, face-to-face readings locally in Sydney. Okay, so I'm really, really busy. I'm also a parent, so I can only do so much, because I often find that people will ask me for a reading, like they'll order a reading, but then they'll say, oh, can you send it to me early? No, I can't send it to you early, I'm sorry, unless you order a fast turnaround reading, which I do offer as well, and they are a little bit more expensive because I send them to you in 24 to 48 hours. So please understand, I'm only human and I'm a one-woman operation here, so there's only so much I can get done in a day. And what else can I tell you guys? So I think that's the announcement for my store. 31st of December, coming back online for you to order if you'd like. And let's talk about the astrology, I think. So, all right. This is what's happening this week. Mercury goes into Capricorn. So, that's from today, actually, from the 30th. So, this is going to bring an energy to us. You know, Mercury is the mind, thinking, and also communication. It brings a bit more of a serious tone to things, a bit more of a sense of, you'd probably be thinking about, what do I want to accomplish in 2020 at this time? And it's very obviously natural to be thinking about that at the end of the year, but with Mercury in Capricorn, it's even more pronounced, this energy. So it is actually a good time to write down some goals or write down some lists. I'm more of a list maker. I like to, you know, put my ideas down on paper of, you know, inspirations, ideas for my business, you know, all that sort of thing. And it's a good time to do that. It's a good time to think about what you want for 2020 for yourself, in terms of what you would like to manifest, what you would like to implement, what if you know, want to change something, if it's very practical in any aspect of life, write it down. You know, it's a good time now with Mercury in Capricorn to do that. It's also a time to look at what needs to be sort of remodeled or changed. You know, if you want to make a change of plans in some aspect of your life, it's a good time to do that. It's a good time to just mentally take charge of things, I think, in general. And, you know, this energy with Mercury in Capricorn can be bringing out the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn, which, as I said, is building up. It's already conjunct, but it's building up to exactness next week, as I said before. And, you know, what this is doing with Mercury now in Capricorn, it's bringing a lot of mental pressure. So you'll probably be feeling quite mentally stressed out, quite mentally pressured. So for me, at the end of the day, I'm definitely going to be doing a meditation because I'm feeling the stress and I'm feeling the pressure as well. The Saturn-Pluto conjunction is going through my third house, which is the house of communication. So everyone's messaging me all at once. And it's like, I just can't keep up. And so I have to put things on the back burner. I have to say, okay, not important text message, not important email, leave it till later. Not, you know, not to sort of succumb to the temptation to read everything all at once, because it all just goes into my brain and I can't deal with it. Especially because I'm someone that's looking at charts every day and it's quite complicated. I've got a lot going on. So if you've got Saturn-Pluto through the third house, if you're a Scorpio rising like me and you've got that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But just in general, this Capricorn energy, you know, with Saturn-Pluto conjunction, it's bringing out a lot of stress with Mercury there, just going into Capricorn now. So you're probably feeling a bit pressured about your life in some aspect of what you want to do with your life, as I was saying. And you're probably feeling a little bit more this sense of endings and new beginnings in your life in some aspect. And you know, it feels a bit hard. It feels a bit heavy because the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is pressurizing everyone in a very intense way. And it's impacting our reality. So that's, you know, with all Capricorn energy, that's the reality, that's the status quo, that's the structure of your life, all that stuff. So, yeah. Let's see what else. Okay. Interesting that Thursday and Friday this week, Mercury in Capricorn conjuncts with Jupiter in Capricorn. So the mind can get very overwhelmed at this time with on Thursday and Friday with Mercury and Jupiter conjunct in Capricorn, as I said, especially with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. So either, you know, in a positive sense, you can start having big ideas for your future or big plans, but I really feel it's mental overwhelm. So just be careful of that. Be careful of feeling pressured. Don't take on things that you know you can't do, even if other people are pressuring you. You know, like just extra things that are just you're not able to show up for because you just don't have the energy, or you feel like you're about to have mental burnout, or you didn't take enough time off, you know, that sort of thing. So just be wary of people pressuring you or feeling too pressured and taking on too much Thursday, Friday, or pushing yourself too hard, burning the candle at both ends, that sort of thing. Let's see. So on the 4th, which is Sunday here in Australia, Mars actually moves out of Scorpio, which I think is, you know, I'm kind of, even though Mars was good in Scorpio, I'm kind of over it now. I'm looking forward to this change of Mars in Sag. Though Mars in Sag can be fun energy, which might bring some relief to the Saturn-Pluto conjunction and the heaviness of the Mercury in Capricorn. But it can be, you know, also this energy of reality is just too harsh. I need to run away. I need to escape, and I need to go and have some fun. And just overdoing it or overindulging in some way. You might like overindulge or just feel a bit like, oh, I have to do everything for everyone, so now I just need all this for myself and feel a bit greedy. Mars is good in Sagittarius. Don't get me wrong, because Mars is a fire sign and Sagittarius is a fire sign, so they go well together. It's great if you want to travel or if you want to do something adventurous or fun. Or take a weekend trip, or, you know, around the Saturday, Sunday leading up to that. But, you know, it can also make you feel very restless and very prone to overindulgence because of stress, or want to just sort of run from problems or run away from your situation, not deal with it, sort of, you know, in the correct manner. But I mean, it depends on your personality, but that's the sort of energy that we've got coming in. But I think with Mars in Sag from Sunday the 4th of Jan, a lot of people will want to do something fun to break out of that sort of heavy energy, or go away somewhere, organize a trip, or even Mars in Sagittarius can be philosophical as well, can be quite spiritual energy, can be sort of wanting to find out the truth of things for yourself as well. Something that you can put action behind though, because Mars is action as well. And it's also an energy of give me freedom. So if you've been feeling too restricted in some way in your life, you might just want to bust out. And obviously I wouldn't recommend at this time with Saturn Pluto conjunction doing anything too crazy or too selfish, or things that could have bad or negative consequences. But something that doesn't have a negative fallout with it would be good if you need to sort of break out of things, or if you need to just stand up for your own freedom or a feeling of justice. So that's this week with the astrology, guys. Next week is the massive week, and so if you're not subscribed, subscribe so you can hear about all what's happening next week with the lunar eclipse and the Pluto-Saturn conjunction, and there's a lot for next week, so we'll talk about it then. But let's look at the cards now. So I'll move on to that. All right, let's look at the first one. If you chose rose quartz, these are your cards. Oh, eclipse in Pisces, free will, and citrine, unnecessary worries. Interesting. Release the burden of worries by giving them to God for healing and solutions. Okay, I'm actually getting meditation right now with these cards, so that was unexpected. But, I forgot to tell you your message. Sorry, I mentioned that earlier. So the message that came through very unexpectedly when I was preparing for you guys for the rose quartz was... stop doing things the hard way is what I heard. Stop doing things the hard way, okay? So if that could relate to any area of your life, it might be putting pressure on yourself mentally, because this is about worry, this card. It could be the way you use your free will. It could be something about that, but that was just what I heard. So, take that with a grain of salt, because there's a lot of people that might be watching this and, but that's what I heard. So... free will. So this is Pisces, Neptune energy here. So it's an interesting combination of, I feel what I'm getting here is twofold. It's like going with the flow, but also knowing that your free will is important, not sort of being too, like lackadaisical or too sort of controlled by the heavy energies at the moment, but also not overly pushing things. That's what I'm getting, not overly trying to control things, because there's a lot of energy of endings at the moment, and it's almost like things need to shift a little bit before you can truly engage your free will is what I'm getting. But working on meditation and creating peace for yourself rather than just distracting yourself with things, I would recommend for, if you chose rose quartz, meditation. I'm really getting that with the dove here. And I am getting the sense that there are a lot of worries that you've been having that are unnecessary. You may be in fear about certain aspects of your life, or worrying that things aren't going to work out, but all that's doing is putting extra pressure on you. There's no need to add to your stress by worrying more than what is necessary, or even complaining more, I feel that's about. I'm also getting negative thinking for the rose quartz people, so watching your negative thinking and make sure that you're not falling into this, very pessimistic way of seeing things. So the worrying there comes up, and there's a need to release worries and have trust, but also know when the right time is to take action in your life and not force things or try to overly control things right now. Okay, so this one is for this beautiful amethyst tower. If you chose this, you guys have clear quartz. Oh, and your message, by the way, for the amethyst was clear your energy. So that's interesting. Clear quartz comes up, because that's a clear, clear quartz is a stone that, can be used for clearing, but it also is magnifying your positive traits as well. And you also have Moon in Taurus, self-esteem, personal growth. Interesting. So it says, let yourself feel all your emotions. Your entire rainbow spectrum of feelings is sending you important messages and guidance. Yes, if you don't listen to your feelings, you cannot listen to your higher self, and your higher self doesn't have anything to work with. So this is a really important message if you're someone that blocks your emotions, that if you suppress your emotions or you try to distract from your emotions. You may feel like emotions are hard work or, something negative, but we are human. We come into this earth with this natural, part of ourselves. You cannot deny it or push it away. It's never going to work. It's saying to let yourself feel all your emotions, to get to a deeper level of authenticity with yourself. If you get stuck in the mind, you'll never know what you're doing. You'll go back and forth, and it will just be, confusing, and you'll confuse other people, and it's just a mess. So what this is about is allowing yourself to go deeper into yourself. And sometimes it's painful, yes it is, but sometimes, once you get past that pain, well, more often than not, you actually get to something very good that's beneath that, which is a level of depth and authenticity that allows you to tap into your true self and your true path. Okay, so this is a really important message I'm getting. And it's so interesting because it's connected to self-esteem. When you know yourself in a deep emotional way, you actually develop your self-worth and self-esteem. But it takes time. It's not something that you can just do suddenly or overnight. So personal growth is also connected to this, as the card says. So when you do connect with your emotions and develop that emotional maturity around your emotions, you'll be able to relate to people better. You'll have better relationships with others, and it will be more fulfilling for you. And, if there's something that you've been blocking off from, you may need to just have a release, like have a cry. And that might be coming up next week with that lunar eclipse in Cancer. But there is a need to release and feel refreshed. Sometimes, like, I'm one of these people, it's really hard for me to cry. And it doesn't mean that I don't feel my emotions, but I do have Saturn conjunct Mars in my astrology chart. So that could be why. But when I do have a cry, like, it's, on the rare occasion, it feels so great, because it just feels like, not during the crying obviously, but afterwards it's like, oh, I just feel like clear, So that's what it's talking about. It's like allowing things to flow, because emotions are not meant to stay stagnant or stuck. It can cause physical illness and even mental illness. So it's about releasing emotions and being honest with yourself, knowing that you have emotions that need to be in the flow, to be channeled through you, not remain stagnant. Okay. Now, interesting, Moon in Taurus. Now, that's so interesting, because the moon is exalted in Taurus, which in astrology, that means it's in the best position. And it's just so funny we have this talking about emotions here. Now, this is an extra message saying to you, once you learn this sort of self-mastery, or you get a handle on your emotional difficulties or what you're going through, you're actually going to have some kind of self-mastery here, and you're going to go to a whole new level of evolution. And isn't that what you want if you're on a spiritual path? You do want to evolve. You don't want to stay the same, stay stagnant or stuck. It's about personal evolution and growth, and an awareness of that. So wow, really deep messages with the amethyst. Okay, so this is for selenite. If you chose a lovely selenite, what do you guys have? Sun in Gemini, communication. Tiger's eye, self-confidence through God confidence. Believe in yourself by believing in God working through you. This one says hone your negotiation and relationship skills. Interesting. It's a 3. So if you have any 3 energy in your numerology, I want to say you're someone that's meant to communicate as part of your life's purpose, as part of your work. Or if you're a Gemini, communication, or 3rd house in astrology, communication is an important part of your chart. So it's very important that you work on communication. And oh, you guys, your message was, let me see, selenite. Interesting. Something about, I can't read my own writing, which is really tragic right now. Oh, I get it. Okay, so, for you guys, the message was what has to be undone. So what I got from that, it sounds a bit strange sometimes how things get channeled from spirit, but the message, what has to be undone for you guys, is there might be something that needs to be, a block, perhaps needs to be sort of overcome at this time for you guys, or something that I'm also seeing the 8 of Cups in the tarot, which is card of walking away from something that is no longer helping you or allowing you to grow. I'm also hearing something needs to be fixed for you guys. So I don't know what that is, but that's what I'm hearing. You'll know for your own individual situation. So communications with someone important this week, getting your feelings out, expressing yourself. If you don't express your feelings, people don't know what you're thinking, and again, can cause confusion, especially with Neptune in Pisces squaring the Gemini energy at this time. It wouldn't be affecting you if you have early Gemini, but if you've got mid to late Gemini, it could be influencing you. The Neptune in Pisces around 18 degrees at the moment. Tiger's eye is interesting because Tiger's eye as a crystal is about focus, and it's also about help with looking for, it can help you, Tiger's eye can help you with helping for, oh my gosh, I can't speak, with looking for new job opportunities and looking for new life opportunities where there's some area or a new path that you can go into that's going to bring growth to you. Also, this message is quite beautiful. It's, you know, reminding you that we all come from God. It's like we're all created through the energy of God, no matter, you know, I mean, I say the word God, you can use the universe, you know, higher powers, whatever it is, but we're all here for a reason. And that's a very important message for someone out there, I feel, to remind yourself that we're all part of that higher universal force, that we're here for a reason to do whatever it is, you know. And it doesn't have to be, people think life purpose is always about a specific vocation or career. It doesn't have to be. It can be about who you are as a person and how you affect people. And do you go through your life uplifting people, or do you go through your life dragging people down? I'd say if you're watching this video, you're not the type of person to go around dragging people down, but there are people out there that do that, and they sometimes don't even realize that they're doing that. So, you know, it's a reminder to focus on the positive aspect of yourself, and reminding yourself that you're here for a reason, as I said. Okay, it's quite a beautiful message. We all have light in us, and we all have aspect of the divine in us, and we're here for, you know, expressing that in our lives. So I really feel for someone out there, it's about self-worth as well, like knowing that you deserve good things, and knowing that, you know, you do deserve to be here, and you do deserve to express yourself in the world. But I'm getting something about positive energy, so you may need to try and find a bit more positivity at this time if you've chosen this particular message, the Selenite Wand. So, and for other people, you may be hearing from someone this week, a friend or somebody that you have known before. Could be connection with a Gemini as well, or you may be a Gemini yourself. But it's a very strong message about important communications this week, or important conversations as well. Maybe difficult conversations for some people, but, you know, because with the self-worth energy connected to that, which I was picking up on as well. Alright, the last one is Lepidolite. And the message, the channeled message that I heard clairaudiently for this one is time for change. That was a very clear one. So, I mean, they were all clear, but yeah. Interesting. So you have Sun in Libra, which is about relationships. If you chose Lepidolite, there may be a change to do with a relationship, or upcoming changes to do with romance, which I feel there's quite a beautiful energy with this. Look at that gorgeous rose. Absolutely stunning. It says, enjoy life with music, love, and romance. So there's something creative here as well, I'm getting. You may be wanting to channel energy into something creative, or something that brings you a sense of peace and harmony, but there is a relationship energy here. This one says amber, and it says, give it to God. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, release this situation to God for healing and answers. So you may know that there's a change coming up. It could be, if you chose this one, in your relationship area, but they are saying sort of you're having some anxiety about this, so you may need to give it to God, or ask your angels to help you guide you through things one step at a time, is what I'm getting. I'm also getting, there's something about children for some people that picked this one. And it could be specifically a daughter, because I feel like it's a very strong childlike energy here. So there could be something about parenting, or connecting with a child, a female child. You know, if you're a parent, or if you have a child in the family, something about that. This is saying harmony, so there's something about restoring harmony in a connection, in a relationship. And there's a lot of spiritual energy around this, so I am feeling that if this is to do with relationship, or whoever this is to do with for you, it could be even a deceased loved one on the other side for some people, okay? Because it's a very elevated energy. It's a very spiritual energy that I'm picking up in here. It's really quite beautiful. This is like a relationship energy coming through that's a very high vibrational potentially. That is, you know, it could be a very high level soulmate connection, or it could be someone on the other side sending you a message. Obviously there's many people watching, so there's different messages coming through, but there is a beautiful feeling of harmony with this, and a healing is what I'm getting as well. Okay. Alright guys, so those are the messages. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye for now.